Hi, my sisters. Ify, Maki, Damola, hi. VAP Mom, thank you. Welcome. FKY, thank you. Don Oliver, thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Ladini, welcome. Don Oliver, yes, Don Oliver, not Don Oliver. Don Oliver. Lisa, baby. And Abigail, my people. Welcome. Oh, Bayo. Don Oliver. My dear cousin, welcome. We're waiting for Sismi. Ah, Uncle Biodu is here. Wow. Uncle Biodu, welcome. Welcome, welcome, my people. We're waiting for my sister. We're waiting for my sis. Once she joins in, we'll start. Because it's already 3 o'clock. It's already past 3. So once she joins, we'll start. Yeah. So we're waiting. Waiting. We're Africans, so African time is allowed. So we're waiting. We're waiting for her. She will join us soon. She will join us soon. Soon and very soon. Yeah, she's joined. So let me... Wow, Adeola has joined. So... yeah. So I'm trying to add her. I'm trying to add her. Oh my God, what's happening? May God help me. What's happening today? Bayo.
Yes, good morning.
Bayo, how now?
I'm fine. Are you?
I'm fine. I'm trying to add Sister Ade. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right. So if you can just go off and let me add her.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, dear. Thanks, Bayo. Sister Midiola, where are you? Oh, wow. Ade, can you request to join? Ade, can you request to join? Just press that plus button that has the video sign. The just beside the comments, just press the plus button on the video sign. I'm sorry, people. Okay, yeah, looks like she's done it. Yeah, she has. Yeah, she's coming on. This technology. Hi, Yemi. Hi, Mego.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you, but you have to raise your device up. I can see you. I can see, but just half of your face.
Oh my God.
Don't worry. Just at least you're on now. Yeah, we can see
now.
you. Yes, we can see you.
Can you see me now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You're looking very beautiful as usual. So just if you can just raise it up a bit so we can see you, or maybe just Yes, better.
Because I'm
Yeah.
standing up.
Oh, you're standing. Okay, so you can sit now.
I have to sit. I need to put this thing on a stand or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Sister Yemi there?
Yeah, Jide. No, she's not here yet. She's
Okay.
finding. She's gonna find her way, and then I'll buzz her in when she comes.
Okay, okay.
Mm,
All right.
yes.
Okay. So, Sister Kwemi, Minima, Kenny Diva, Celia,
Mm-hmm.
Bayo, Tony Gbadamosi, Yinka Oshin, Mego, Ayodeji, Sister Auntie Ayodeji, Kende Durojaye. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in to Adonis Parlor. So let me just first of all tell you what Adonis Parlor is all about. Adonis Parlor focuses on that person who lives in the diaspora, inspiring lives positively, impacting lives, and also motivating lives. And usually, most times, there's usually a story, an inspiring story to tell. And today, I have with me Mrs. Adeola Gbadamosi, who happens to be my blood sister. She's the firstborn of the family. She's our matriarch, and she has a story to tell us today. And it's all about breast cancer. You know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so my big sister, Adeola Gbadamosi, is here to tell us her journey through breast cancer. So, my beautiful sister, thank God for your life. Thank you
Yeah.
for agreeing to be interviewed. Thank you for agreeing to tell your story. And for all of you, you may not, well, just to let you know that I don't know the half of it. So I'm going to hear the story firsthand today, just like all of you. All right. So, my sister.
Sheke. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Can you tell us who you are? Who is Adeola? I know who you are, but introduce yourself to us.
Okay. My name is Adeola Gbadamosi ni Komodi. Born on the 4th of June 1961. I spent the first 7 years of my life in the UK. Then I went back with my parents and my two sisters. I went to Sunnyfields Primary School, St. Margaret's School, Elisha, St. Teresa's College, Ibadan, University of Ife, which is now called Obafemi Awolowo University. I studied law. I was called to the bar in 1985. I worked in private practice. I worked as a banker for many years. Then I moved to the UK. I went into customer services. I went into housing. I'm a certified mediator, and I like baking. And I actually run a baking confectionery business. Now I actually bake bespoke cupcakes. I'm also a qualified CELTA teacher, so I can teach English language to adults. I did that last year. That was my latest qualification. I live here in the UK. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, my sister. I was just going to ask you to tell us
And
what.
then sorry, I
Okay.
forgot to add. I like doing things with my hands, so of course I like making cakes. I also like to crochet. I also like to knit, but I've been doing a lot of crocheting, crochet baby blankets, teddy bears, soft toys, and all that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So I don't know if Ibiumi called you. Ibiumi,
Yes.
Ni Braithwaite. Did she
Yes.
call you?
She sent me a message while I was in church, and I replied her.
Okay.
I said I would let her know how to go about. Yeah, I've given her
Okay.
some pointers already, but I'm going to speak with her later.
Okay. Okay. All
Yes, and
right.
somebody put on the yes, I used to bead as well. Somebody reminded me, yes, I used to bead as well. Yes,
Yes.
I used to do that. Yeah.
We are quite talented in our family. And did you know Biodu is on?
Yes, because he said he was going to join. I was going to get Grandpa to listen as well.
Oh,
Yes,
lovely.
I was going to get
What
Grandpa.
about what Mama the Mama? Is she on as well?
I sent a message to her. I hope she's there because
It
she's in
could be very
America because of the time
yeah.
difference. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you turned 60 recently. So, I mean, how do you feel being alive, turning 60? How do
Ah,
you feel?
like, well, very happy. I had a very nice 60th. That was actually my best birthday ever because I was being, everybody was taking me out, everybody was coming to visit me, everybody was calling me. It was even nicer than having a party. That was actually my best birthday ever. I had a nice time. I give thanks to God. I thank God that I was able to see 60 because we're only just products of God's grace, and it's God that holds us in his arms, and he's the one that completes us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We thank God. We thank God for the
Yes.
grace. We thank God
Yes.
for life. All right. So, I mean, what we're here for today is for you to just take us through the journey of your breast cancer. So, can you please let us know, I mean, how it started, how you found out that you had breast cancer?
Yes. I've always had very dense breasts, and I've always had breast pain. So I was always on top of this thing. I would go in, they would send me for a mammogram. They would tell me there's nothing wrong. I stopped taking things like caffeine. I would only drink caffeine tea, no caffeine in my drinks and all that. So I was always like kind of on top of it. But in 2019, when I went for I missed my first appointment, which was in August. And when I went to the GP, he said, "Oh, Adi, you've missed your appointment. Go rebook it." That was in September. And my daughter also, she was heavily pregnant. She was just about to give birth. So what happened was that I went for the appointment. I booked the appointment. I went for the mammogram on the 10th of October. And by the 20th of October, they sent me a letter saying that, I had to come back to the Luton Hospital for them to do a checkup. And that was when alarm bells started ringing. And of course, I got the letter. My sister said, don't worry about it. But the thing said, 1 in 8 people get called back. And that was when the alarm bell started ringing. So on the 25th of October, I went for my appointment. The doctor, Dr. Janet, she put the thing on the screen and she showed me the areas of my breast. There were 3 shadows there. That was when I said, oh my God. So this thing is actually true. They found 3 areas there, kind of tumors, but not lumps. There was invasive ductal carcinoma, one of the tumors there. Then there was also invasive lobular carcinoma. And then there was also a calcifications just right behind my nipple. They're like little pin pricks, and they were all over the whole place. They were, in fact, the whole breast was affected. So I did a biopsy there and then. They did a biopsy there and then. She put me under, she just rubbed something on the breast, so I didn't feel anything. She took the biopsy. She also took a biopsy from my lymph node in my armpits. And then I had to go back to the mammogram machine where the lady there, the radiographer, took a sample of one of the pinprick calcifications in the breast. And they said I should come back, that they would let me know. That was on the 25th. My sister was with me. In fact, I was like floating. I didn't know whether I was going or coming, but I was just quiet, and my sister too was quiet. Now that day happens to be my in-laws' 60th birthday, Mr. and Mrs. Adiko. Mrs. Adiko, I was 60 on that day. And I was meant to meet up with them because they had come in from Nigeria the day before. I was meant to meet up with them somewhere in central London to have dinner. I said, what am I going to do now? Anyway, I got my sister to drop me at the station. I got onto the train. I went to meet them. I had to pretend as if everything was okay. I don't know how I ate that dinner that night, but I just know I knew I was swallowing, maybe I was swallowing sawdust. I just made sure that, and I had to keep it for my daughter because she was about to give birth. And I couldn't I couldn't distract her. So I had to just hold myself together. The next day, my husband came in from Nigeria and I had to go and meet him at the airport. And I had to quickly tell him before we got back home so that I wouldn't be speaking with him before in front of Ladu and my in-laws. I told him. In fact, when you say somebody's face falls, when I told him, I could actually see his face fall, that, oh my God, not again. Because in 2017, I had a cancer scare. That was cancer of uterus, but it happened that it was just a polyp that was bleeding, and I had an operation to take that out. So that one, you know, so he said, oh my God, not again, not again. Anyway, on the 30th of October, we went back to the clinic, and that was where it was confirmed that it was cancer of the breast caused by, it was estrogen positive. You know, we have different kinds of breast cancer. There's triple negative, there's progesterone positive, there's estrogen positive, you know, different kinds. So mine was estrogen positive. And the lady said, oh, I shouldn't worry, that I'm going to get the best of care, I'm going to get the best of treatment and all that. So I said, okay, the journey starts. First of all, I had to hold myself because my daughter was about to give birth. I couldn't tell her anything. So we just kept it from her. But she's very, very perceptive. She kind of knew what was going on, but she didn't ask me. So after she had the baby, a few days after she had the baby, I just called her. I said, Ladu, this is what is going on. She said, Mommy, I knew. Because I was busy running helter skelter, going for this appointment, going for that appointment, within a space of 2 weeks. So anyway, that was how the journey started. So in November, they invited me to come back to come and, because they wanted to check whether the cancer had spread to my lymph nodes. So I did what they call a sentinel node biopsy. That was sometime, I think it was second week of November. They took me into the operating theater. They put me under general anesthesia. It was like I had to stay in the hospital for like 2 days. They checked, they took 3 lymph nodes from my right armpit and they checked. They found that the cancer had spread to one of the lymph nodes. So somebody's asking here, what was the cause? I mentioned that already. It's caused by estrogen. My cancer was actually estrogen positive, too much estrogen in my system. Maybe I might give you a background to maybe how I got too much estrogen in my system, you know. So so that was actually the cause of the breast cancer. And there was no lump. It was just shadows. So, and my breast, I have very dense breasts, so I couldn't, even if I was pressing my breasts, I wouldn't find that lump. It was only found through the mammogram. So it's very important that you go for your mammograms. And it's actually, this kind of breast cancer is normally happens to people that are older, people that are maybe in their 40s, 50s, 60s. I was 58 when I was diagnosed. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I went for a sentinel node biopsy. They found out that there was cancer in one of the lymph nodes. So they now, and about 2 weeks after, I now went for the operation. And while I was there, you know, I met with my breast surgeon. She had spoken with me. She said, okay, they told me what they were going to do, the treatment plan. After I do the operation, I will do chemotherapy, I'll do radiotherapy, and all that. So she had spoken with me that, because I was actually a very busty person. And she said, if I wanted to do reconstruction, they wouldn't be able to get the exact size of my left breast. So she asked if I wanted her to reduce my breast. I said, okay, go ahead and reduce it, you know. So that was fine. So they removed the breast. I did that operation and then they reduced the other breast. And I came out of hospital after about 3 days. And I was to come back for a result, just for a checkup about 10 days after. So I went back on the 18th of December. And that was when they told me that, oh, they were not sure. After they checked what they removed, they did the pathology of all the tissue, the breast tissue that they removed. And that was when they told me that, oh, they were not sure if they had cut all the tissue, that it doesn't seem as if they've cut all the tissue. And what they tell you here in England is that, I mean, when you have issues like that, you come with somebody. So, of course, Turo was like my sister, like my next of kin, follow me up and down. But this particular day, I didn't want to bother her because I've been going up and down together. I said, let me just go and get this, you know, so I can move on, get on to the chemo and all that and all that. So this day I went by myself. They asked me, where's your sister? I said, she didn't come with me. I said, what's the matter? Then I said, that they have to take me back into the operating theater to go and remove the rest of the breast tissue. I sat down there. I was looking. I said, what kind of thing is this? Anyway, I was calm. I didn't say anything. They said, was I okay? I said, yes, I was okay. I carried my bag. I moved out of the area, and I just saw one free area, like a waiting area, and I sat down there. And that was the day that, you know, all throughout, I didn't cry. I was just like my normal self, just trying to hold it in together. It was that day that I just unleashed myself. You know, when they say you are wailing like a banshee, I was wailing that, oh my God, what kind of thing is this? What kind of trouble is this? Not knowing that there was a nurse's station further down. Those ones just rushed, came with tissues and everything. What's wrong? What's wrong? And then they had to go and call people that your patient that you had just seen, didn't you cancel her very well? She's here crying. So they had to take me back into the office. They sat with me. I sat down there for like 2 hours. They gave me tea, gave me coffee. Was I okay? Did I want to call my sister? Blah, blah, blah. They want to call a friend. I just was calm there, and I said I was okay. And then they got me a taxi and I went home. Anyway, the 2nd of January, I did the other operation. They removed the entire breast tissue, because before there was like a little mound there, but they just removed it. So I was like completely flat on that area. And they found out that there was nothing after the operation. When I went for the checkup and they did the pathology, they said, oh, they had cleared all the breast cancer. So there was no cancer left there. So they gave me time to recuperate. I went in for a scan, MRI, CT scan, all those things that you have to do just before I started the chemotherapy. I did 6 courses of chemotherapy. Sorry, I hope I'm just trying to explain.
Yeah,
so that people understand, because a lot of people didn't know what was going on. So I had 6 cycles of chemotherapy. And before I started the chemotherapy, we were invited for an interview. They took us around the place, around the chemotherapy suite, to show us what it was like, to show what kind of treatment. They gave us booklets to read. They gave me a massive booklets and literature to read. I had 3 cycles of epiribosine and some other drug. And the next one was doxycycline. And they advised that if you have long hair, go cut your hair, because your hair will fall out. So my hair was actually quite long. It had thinned out a bit, but it was still natural, and I still had plenty hair. So I went to the barber to go and cut my hair, and the man was saying, "Auntie, why are you cutting your hair?" I said, "Just cut it." But auntie, I said, "You know what? Just cut the hair, cut it." So I cut it, and it was like a low cut. So I had the first cycle of chemotherapy. It wasn't too bad. It was okay. The second one, by the time I put the comb in my hair, the hair was coming out. So I just took shaving stick and just shaved the head. I finished the 3 cycles of epiribosine, and then 3 weeks after, I started on the doxycycline. I didn't know that. I mean, when you say, oh, in fact, those were the very words. Because a friend had told me that, oh, that you need to load yourself with painkillers. I said, no, that it's not that bad. You know, it's not that bad. When I started the 4th cycle of chemotherapy, the first day I was okay, second day I was okay, third day I was okay, 4th day, my whole body was on fire. My whole body, I not called that my friend. She said, but she told me. I don't have to call my oncologist. Someone said, oh, they're so sorry. They should have given me painkillers. So I had to go into the hospital. They gave me cocodamol, 30 milligrams and 500 milligrams of paracetamol. So I had to take that every 6 hours. Anytime I forget to take that, Sheke, why are you crying? I'm okay now. I'm okay. So anytime I forget to take that medication, the pain will just wake me up. I know by then COVID had started. There was lockdown. I was in my friend's flats. I couldn't see anybody. I was just by myself. But you know, God was just with me. I think we 3 sisters, we have what we call, we just get on with it. We just get on with stuff. We just get on with things. Like my friend will say, Adeola, Olakin Koju. I don't know what that means in Yoruba, but she just says that I'm tough, I'm resilient. So I just got myself together, and I just got on with it. So anyway, I had to take my medication. I also had to give myself filgrastim injections. After the 4th day, I had to inject myself with filgrastim. It's a medication that helps build up the red blood cells, because chemotherapy kills the red blood cells and the white blood cells. So I had to start giving myself injections. I gave myself that injection 42 times. And then I lost my sense of taste. I couldn't taste any food. They were giving me mouthwash so I wouldn't have mouth sores. Very strong, nice mouthwash. I would use that twice a day. I was eating, I wasn't tasting my food. So the doctor said, you know what, Ade, anything that makes you eat, that you can taste. So I'll just go into Tesco, go and buy milkshake. I was just drinking milkshake because I couldn't taste any food. There was one time my friend, a very close friend of mine, she was fed up of me staying in the house by myself. So she came on a Sunday to come and pick me. I hadn't seen her for like 2 months. She came on the Sunday to come and pick me, and they had a barbecue. They did all kinds of food. Lamb, fish, everything that I could think of, jollof rice. I couldn't taste a thing. She now stood with me. What are you going to eat? And I said, okay, fry me dodo. She made me plantain. As I was eating the plantain, she stood there. Oh yeah, maje. That was the only thing I could eat, plantain and stew. But with time, all the feeling passed. I was able to get over that. All my fingernails were black. The chemotherapy drugs are really very, very strong. My palms were black. My fingernails were black. I had spider webs all over my hands. My toenails fell off. I was black, like my face was black like coal. But as time went on, that kind of left. Then when I finished the chemotherapy, they gave me a month to rest, and I went on to do radiotherapy. I did 5 rounds of radiotherapy. I was doing it every day for a whole week. So when I finished the radiotherapy, they had warned me that I might have burns. But the first day was okay. Second week was okay. By the 3rd week, all that area was blistered, as if they had poured hot water on my body. So I had to go back into the hospital. They had to give me ointment to rub on it and all that. Anyway, that one also passed. And because it was a estrogen positive cancer, they now told me that I had to be on an estrogen blocker for 5 years. So they gave me this drug called letrozole. 2.5 milligram. I was to take that every day. So I started taking that immediately after the chemo. When I finished the radiotherapy, the next week I started on that. I started taking it. And then I also have to be on what they call zoledronic injections every 6 months for 5 years. That would help me so that the cancer won't spread, and it will keep my bones very strong. So far, I've taken, because I started the treatment last year, February, so I've taken 4 of those zoledronic injections. So I still have 6 months to take in the space of another 3 years. I started taking the letrozole last year, so I still have 4 more years of the letrozole. Meanwhile, the letrozole, I was taking it, but after I realized that I wasn't tolerating it well. I was always in pain. The pain was like level crazy. As in, when you say 1 to 10, level 1 to 10, that level was 20. So this year, February, when I couldn't cope anymore, it was like, oh, the pain was, and then my arm was always aching me. So when I couldn't cope anymore, my breast nurse had to call me and say, come in for an appointment. So I met with the oncologist, and they had to change my drug from letrozole to tamoxifen. All these drugs have side effects. Now the tamoxifen, I started taking it. It was fine. I'm tolerating it well. But the thing about tamoxifen is that it makes some people bloat up. So now I'm struggling with my weight. When I was drinking the letrozole, I was fine because I exercise. I do my exercise every morning unfailingly. When I wake up, that's the first thing I do. I do between 1.5 and 2 hours exercise every day. I do walk at home by Leslie Sansom. I do it unfailingly every day. But now I'm struggling with my weight because I'm exercising and watching what I eat. but the weight is just there. But I know I'll get on top of it. I can't stop taking the drug because that's what will help the cancer not come back. So it's either when I was talking to my oncologist, he said, Adi, what do you want to do? Because you know, when they talk to you here, they give you options. If you don't want to take the drug, they say no problem. Like when they were telling me about the treatment, I said, what options do I have? They said, I can either take the treatment or I don't take the treatment. I said, people are being very nice. The bottom line is that if I don't do the treatment, I die. And they were looking at me smiling. So of course, whatever you tell me to do, I will do it so that this thing will not come back. So I'm on tamoxifen right now, doing my zoledronic injections every 6 months. I see my breast surgeon every 6 months. If I have any issues, I see my breast nurse. I call her. She asks me to come in. I see my plastic surgeon because I want to do a reconstruction, but they haven't given me a date for that yet. I also see my oncologist every 6 months. And if I have any issues, I call them and they ask me to come in. Now, one of the side effects of sometimes when you remove, because what happened was that they removed all the lymph nodes in my right side because they didn't want to take any chances of the cancer coming back. They found the cancer in one lymph node. So they removed all the lymph nodes in my right armpit, everything. So I don't have any lymph nodes on that side. Now, one of the side effects is that sometimes when you get infection, you get what is called lymphedema. Unfortunately, I developed lymphedema about 3 months ago. I just noticed that my right arm was so heavy and becoming much bigger than my left arm. So I went in to go and see my breast nurse. She said, oh, definitely, you've got lymphedema. That we don't know how it happens, but it just happens. And there's no cure for the lymphedema. I have to wear a compression sleeve. So they had to call, the nurses came to visit me. The nurses came to visit me. They measured my arm. They ordered the sleeve. So I have to wear the sleeve every day, especially when I'm on the plane, if I'm traveling. I take it off at night. And then as time goes on, about 8 weeks time, they're going to fit me with another garment. So that's something I just have to deal with. You know, it's just one of those things. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy that I'm well. It could have been worse because the doctor told me initially that there's no way I would have known that there was a lump there because it didn't show. They would only have cut it by mammogram. And if I didn't go for that appointment at that time, I would just have been moving around. And the thing had already spread to one lymph node. It would have spread to more lymph nodes. It would have spread to other parts of my body. It's still contained within primary breast cancer. I asked my oncologist, I have two oncologists, Dr. Sutherland. I asked her, I said, would the cancer come back? And she told me that there are no guarantees, but just make sure you do everything that you can do to make sure that it doesn't come back. Just do all your treatments, all your medications, don't miss your appointments, blah, blah, blah. And I said, fine. So that's it in a nutshell. Okay, I eat, they told me that I can eat whatever you want within reason, eat well, eat healthy. I try and eat healthy. Well, I'm a bit of a sweet tooth. I like ice cream. Eat ice cream once in a while. I make cakes, but I don't really eat cakes. I'm more of a meat pie person. So when I make the meat pie, make sure that I don't eat too much. I'm struggling a bit with my weight, but I'll get there, you know. So that's it in a nutshell. A lot of people didn't know what was going on with me because, you know, when you get this kind of news, you're kind of dumb. You don't want to tell anybody. You just want to be quiet. You just want to be in your shell. But as time went on, I said, you know what? I could use this to encourage somebody. I could use this to tell people that it's not a death sentence. You know, it's not a death sentence. Once it's caught early and you do all your treatments and all that, and God helping us, if you can afford the treatment, if you're in a place like Nigeria where everything is so expensive, you know, God with us all. We're all going to die one day anyway, but you know, it's just that you don't want to die from a thing called because it's scary. It's scary, but God is on the throne. Yeah.
Thank you, my sister, for sharing your story with us. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I did not know half of what was going on. I don't know whether it was deliberate. A lot was kept away from me. I didn't get to hear until about a month later. It was my husband that called me. So it was my husband that called me and told me what happened, and it was really very bad. My reaction was really very bad. But we'll pause a bit here now and just say hello to everyone online.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of them are family members, friends that we've known for a long time. So hello everyone. Celia, Kemi Dowu, Adajok, Ngozi.
That's Justice. What's that? Justice Nike Coker.
Okay, welcome. Sister Yemi is on. Ngozi, Adu, Ronke, our dear cousin Ronke, Malo, Akinpelu, Adepetu Akinpelu, Abi, Adeyanju, Lisa, baby, Kehinde Durojaye, Tokumbo, Fagbemi, Sister Titi, Auntie Olu is here.
Yeah.
Kenny Kiba, Dako, my husband is here.
Hi everybody.
Hello everyone. Unique Daddy Shola, welcome. Please don't be upset if I don't mention your name. Falake Ogunjimi, my friend, Auntie Ayodeji, GB for real, Adeola Gbadamosi, Kemi Dowu, Adejoke. Welcome everyone. I'll call your names as we go on. So I'd just like to call on Ladu now. Ladu, are you on? Sister Biola, welcome. Ladu, are you on? So I'm calling on Ladu, my sister's daughter, to tell us how she felt when she heard the news. So let's see if Ladu is here. Ladu, where are you? Ladu, click on this plus button, the video plus button. To see me? Ladu, click on the plus button so that you can come on. Quite a lot of people have requested to come on, so I can't. Ladu.
Okay.
Ladu, where are you? Okay. Yeah, Ladu, you're here. So click on the plus. Okay.
Molara Fagbemi is saying that Sheka, you must say hello to me.
Sister Lara, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Sister Lara. Beautiful Sister Lara, happy birthday. Sister Nike.
No, there's Nike, yes, we can see you, but there's also Adajosi. That's Nike Coker. She's on as well. Okay, Ladu is here.
Ladu.
Good afternoon, Nancy.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
How is Sheyi and
Sorry, I
Shewa?
couldn't dress up because they're fine. I just got back from the hospital not too long ago. So I couldn't dress up.
All is well, No problem. It's okay. All right. So now tell us, you had that feeling that something was wrong, right? When she was going to the hospital.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So when you got to here, how did you feel when you got to here?
Okay. Well, let me go back a bit. I remember when I was in primary school. I think I was in primary 6, and my mom traveled. She went to London, and so that night I slept in her room next to my dad, and then so I had a dream that she died, and so ever since then I've just always been terrified. The dream just made me very terrified. So anytime, even when we were in England and she would go for appointments, when she comes back, I don't know if you can remember. When she comes back, sometimes I'll badger her and be asking, so what did they say? Or why is this like this? What's, But luckily, everything always turned out to be okay. And I remember that she did used to have breast pain. I even remember one time asking her, because we went out with Auntie Toyin, and so I heard she was telling Auntie Toyin something about breast pain. So I think when Auntie Toyin got down from the car or something, I asked her, Mom, this one you're having breast pain, I hope it's not breast cancer. And she's like, no. So then in 2017, she had a cancer scare, which was quite scary, but it turned out not to be cancer. So when I went to have Shewa, she was with me, and she went for her routine mammogram check. And I didn't really think anything bad will happen. It was just so unexpected. So I remember when Auntie Toro called her saying, and she read out the letter to her that they said she should come back. Okay, no. She was talking to Auntie Toro on the phone, reading out the letter about having to come back for more investigation or something. And I remember Googling it. And I think I even told her that most times it turns out not to be anything. So my husband, like she said, my husband came in to London on the 24th of October, and the next day was his mom's 60th birthday. So we went out to dinner in Shepherd's Bush. That was the day my mom had to go into Luton. So she came to meet us, and I didn't suspect it. I think I asked her, and she said everything was fine. But I didn't suspect anything because she was just her normal self. And then the next day, she went to the airport to meet my dad. And then again, I didn't suspect anything. But then in the following Monday, so I went for an appointment. In fact, I was like 40 weeks at that time. So I went for an appointment with my husband, and my mom, my dad, and Auntie Toro went back to the hospital. I think that's when they confirmed that it was cancer. So when they got back, I think I overheard her saying something. So, Mommy, you don't remember. And I asked, I was like, Mommy, what is it? What is it? But obviously now she refused to tell me, and understandably, because I was ready to give birth at that time. So she didn't want anything to stress me out. But I just kept having this feeling, but I just tried not to really. And I remember mentioning it to my husband, and I think he said everything will be fine or something. So after Shewa was born, because she came later than we expected her to, so my husband had to go back to Nigeria. So we did her naming ceremony earlier than we should have, 5 days after she was born instead of 7 days. So I remember on that day, I think I had maybe a bit of postpartum depression or baby blues. So just crying a lot that day. So my mom, I was now telling my mom that my dad had already left, that my dad has gone, and then my husband is going, and then she too will soon go, and then so she told me that she was not going back to Nigeria as expected, and so I asked why, and she was like, oh, she wanted to spend some time with Shewa. So I was like, oh, okay. Then I think the following week, I think it was just a week after Shewa was born, and she finally told me that, that this is what is happening. She called me to the room. She said this is what they found, some calcium. And, and I didn't really want to go to Google because I usually Google a lot of things. But with this, I just didn't want to check Google because I didn't want to be more scared, But when she told me, I went back into the room. I picked up the phone and then called my husband and started crying, because it just felt like a nightmare come true, and I didn't understand why it should happen. So no, I think when Shewa was 2 weeks old or so, we went to Milton. My mother-in-law and I went to Milton Keynes. So really, my mom was alone, and when I went to see her after she had the first surgery, it was not a nice. Because 2 weeks ago, I was in the hospital giving birth. It was the same hospital. I was but different floor. So I was in the hospital giving birth. And I didn't think that, at the point of when I was giving birth, I didn't think I'll be back in the hospital again. But this time, sitting at my mom's bedside, it was quite a difficult, it was difficult to I don't know what the word is. It was difficult to experience because I remember her getting up and she had to use the toilet and she had to drag the IV, whatever, with her and in her hospital gown. And I was like, and I was looking, oh, so you mean my mom only has one breast now? You know, I hope she will not have to have chemo, or because I had heard that chemo makes people weak. And if she was to have chemo, I was going to go, I had to go back to Nigeria. So should have been alone, who would take care of her, you know? So, well, so I had to leave my mom that day because I had to go back to my daughter. And so I think maybe two weeks after her operation, my mother-in-law and I went to. Okay, no, sorry, mommy. Was it before your operation that you found out you had to have chemo, mommy?
Yes, they had already told me. They had already told me I was going to have chemo.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh yes.
They had told me I
Oh
was going
yes.
to have chemo.
Before her
They told
operation.
me.
Yes, before her operation.
They
Actually, it
told me
was
the
even my dad
treatment
that told me.
Yeah.
I think okay, they took out her lymph nodes. Yes, they took out her lymph nodes first. She had like a mini operation before they made one, where they took out her lymph nodes, and the result from that was that they had seen one cancer in one of the lymph nodes, so she had to have chemo after the surgery. And it was actually my dad that told me that, because I was just praying, God, please don't let her have to have chemo. Don't let her have to have chemo. So when my dad told me, I was like, why, why is all this happening? You know. But I just tried to also, like, she tried to put herself together. Although there are a lot of things she didn't tell me that I'm also hearing for the first time here. Because naturally, my mom is very resilient and very strong. Like she said, she just gets on with things. So I remember when my dad's older brother passed away, we were all very, very distraught. When we went to see his corpse, I refused to go in because I just couldn't bear to see him, you know. But my mom and my dad went in, and I remember my mom just sitting down next to him, just holding his hand. She was the only person that wasn't crying. So my mom was never really a crier, or she just always, I don't know, has this strength to just get on with things, you know. And sometimes I wish I was like her in that sense, and maybe not cry as much as I do. So
Take care. This is why this is why we do not tell you.
so she so after her operation, she was in London. I was in Milton Keynes. My mother-in-law and I went to see her, you know, and we just spent a bit of time with her before we had to go back to Milton Keynes. Then just before Christmas, my my dad called me and said I should go and spend Christmas with my mom just to lift her spirits, because I was due to go back to Nigeria on the 27th of December. So he suggested I spend Christmas with my mom, myself, and Shewa. And initially I declined because the plan was that I would spend Christmas with my mother-in-law, but a friend of mine convinced me that just because my mom isn't begging me to come, or saying that just because she's not voicing it out does not mean she does not want me around, that I should go. And I'm really glad I did, because I've not seen my mom since then, because COVID happened not too long after. You know, so it was just, I don't know, it was really just like my worst nightmare come true, because this was not how I imagined when I have a baby how things will be. Because I always thought that, okay, my mom will be able to come and visit me in Abuja anytime I need her to, and but that's not how it has turned out. But nonetheless, I prefer for her to be far away and be able to talk to her on the phone than for me not to even be able to talk to her at all. So it was a very
Tough time, tough period.
sometimes I get scared. Like she has another mammogram coming up, and I've been nervous about it. I'm sure everything is fine, but now anytime anything is wrong with her, I just get very, very worried. Like when she had COVID, I kept on calling her all the time to find out how she was. And she asked me why am I always calling her, but for me, it was just my way of making sure she was still alive and anytime she doesn't pick up, I'll panic. So it was very tough, but we just thank God that um well, that she's okay. And I remember when she
Yeah.
first had chemo, sometimes I'd be scared to FaceTime do WhatsApp video because I didn't want to see her hair because it was just a reminder of everything. And when I went to visit her after when Shewa and I went to spend some time with her during Christmas, I remember not wanting to go into the room when she's changing because I didn't want to see the scar from the surgery. And but like I said, my mom is very strong. When because I had
Yeah.
issues with Shewa sleeping very very little, and there was one night that I didn't sleep at all, and it was just not long after my mom's operation. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I went to her and I was like, Shewa has not slept and I'm very tired. So she helped me. She rocked Shewa with one arm because she couldn't. Mommy, what's breast did they remove? The left or the right?
The
I
right,
don't
the right. Yeah.
couldn't really use her right hand because it was sore. So she had to rock Shewa for me with her left hand. For 1 hour, she was dancing up and down the parlor with Shewa while I slept. You know, I'm just very grateful that she's still alive and you know
Yes.
uh, the testimony and yeah.
Th- Thank God. Thank you very much, Ladu, for sharing how you felt during the period. God bless you for just always being there for your mom. I would have wanted Okubiodu to speak, but I don't know if he's camera shy. Toro, Toro is camera shy. She refused. So, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. How I felt, because she's my sister, how I felt was that when they broke the news to me, I just made a mess of myself on the floor. Really, I was crying, wailing, rolling on the floor. My husband was begging me, telling me that Jesus loves my sister, Jesus loves us, blah, 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 and then I could not call her. Each time I spoke to Toro, anytime when I speak to Toro, I would just be crying. And Toro just said, Sheke, no, you can't cry, you. Don't even try it. She doesn't need people like you around her at all. Don't even try to cry, you know. So I called her after about 2 weeks. And when I called her, she now said, Sheke, why haven't you called me? I could not say anything. But by that time, no more crying. I couldn't say anything. But I just said, well, I was just trying to take in the news, blah, blah, blah. And then I summed up courage to go and see her in February. Now, that February when I went to see her, she was in a lot of pain, but she didn't show it, you know. I think I spent about 2 nights with her, and she was the one who always made food for me, because I was just there looking. I was just stealing glances at her. When she's not looking at me, I was still glances at her. I mean, she was very, very strong, always knitting, always making those her teddy bears, and just generally reading and making herself very busy. But I just kept on stealing glances at her. So there was one morning, I think it was in the morning, she now came to wake me up and said that she had to go to the hospital, that she's in severe pain. But she didn't show that she was in pain. And so we now headed out to the hospital. And I was not walking fast enough. And she was in front. And she was saying that, Sheke, walk fast now, walk fast. And I was trying my best. And she was going very fast. I was just watching her, that this woman is so strong with all the pain she's going through and all that. Eventually, she had to tell me to turn back. Oh. She said I should just go back because I wasn't walking fast. And she said I should go, that I shouldn't worry, that I should just go, that she will carry on. So I now left her and she went on, and but we thank God that she's all right now. God has been so good to us in the family that we didn't lose her, So I'd like to thank you for coming to share your story. Honestly, it's really, really very inspiring. And for those of us that have not gone to do our mammogram, I'm guilty. I'm so scared. I haven't gone to do my mammogram, but I have to go and do it now. It's really a shame I haven't gone to do it, so I have to go and do it now. Let's pause to say hello to everyone that has come.
Yeah.
Our big sister is here, Auntie Bimbo, Mama di Mama. I know
Yes.
it's
Lakija, Twin Dada,
Kemi,
Dayo,
Tony. Welcome.
Jalekun.
Dayo, Tony Olusoya. All our friends are here, family, everybody's here.
What
Yeah.
cancer, Niger?
Yes.
Everyone, thank you
for joining. Yeah, so what would you advise? What would be your advice to us women?
I guess you see that one in 8 people get breast cancer. So it's very important that you do your checkups, check your breast in the shower. That's for the younger ones. The older ones, make sure you go for your mammograms. Make sure you go for your checkups. Make sure you eat well. You don't eat rubbish. Exercise. Keep yourself happy. Make sure that you're not stressed about anything. Okay, Mr. Gbadamosi is there. Make sure you're not stressed about anything. Generally be in good spirits and be positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's part of it. Yeah. Okubiadu, can you tell us how you felt when you heard?
Well, you heard her. You know, because we had a scare in 2017. In fact, you know, I'm not sure whether I was the one who, you know, that 2017 felt like a death sentence to me. I'll be frank. Felt like a death sentence to me in the sense that I just didn't know what to do. No matter how strong you are, except you don't have any feelings. You know, much more so. I've seen you know what cancer can do. You see someone close to you, your loved one, deteriorating right in front of you. So my mind went through so many things. You know, I was tired. Like Ladun said, it was a very, very tight period, but I just said I had to be there. She kept it from me, and I remember quite well because it wasn't after I had dragged my suitcase out that I found out that the suitcase had been forced open before it left Nigeria. But luckily, nothing was missing. But though they damaged the lock and everything, and it was now, so she kept quiet. She was calm and saw things rile you up. So she waited for me to calm down as we left the airport. She now just said, I might have cancer. I said, everything just went blank. Everything just went blank. You know, now said again that, but you've been going for, you've been very, very careful. But anyway, the long and short of it is, just thank God. No, as a Muslim, there's one thing we call kum fire kum, that be and it shall be. Thank God that Ladun went to have a baby. Thank God that you walked in you walked in front of a Tesco's supermarket and the mammogram van was there, and you know, everything is God. God made you decide to go in for that mammogram. You know,
I had an appointment now. I had to go.
You went in for the about. If you didn't go in, you wouldn't have had an appointment.
They would have chased me up. They would chase me up. That where are you? They would chase you up.
So the whole experience, because that then there was Ladun trying to, well, having a baby. So, you know, you didn't know what he was like. How would you now look at Ladun? How would you keep it under wraps? But she's a strong woman. I have to say that about my wife. She's a very, very, very strong woman, you know. And over time, I've learned to appreciate that strength in her. She's a very, very strong woman. She's been through a lot. She's been through a lot, and I appreciate her. I thank God for her. At times when I ask her, how are you feeling? What is, you know, there's that frustration that, oh, so what are they saying now? Why are you feeling? You know, she how would I put it? She gets irritated that, why are you worried? Why are you worried? At times she snaps back, you know, why are you worried? Why should you try and calm down? You know, and nobody knew COVID will come in. Nobody knew COVID will come in, the whole thing, everything. But I thank God that she was there. She's been treated there. You know, as much as it is, I still say, you know, it took me some time to accept the fact that she has to be there for so long. It took me quite some time. Maybe I was in denial of that aspect. She will have to remind me that, but what is off when I can't come now, I have to wait. But okay, after this, at least come home. This is your home. This is your house. You have to come. Okay, come and stay. But you know, I thank God. I thank God because you've seen so many gone. And there are so many issues that come in, and life in its own is hard, but I thank God for my wife. And even with all the adversities, she still makes the effort to live life to its fullest within reasonable boundaries. So when Ladun says she feels that maybe at times she's like, Mom, how does she go? No, you are like your dad with that aspect. In that aspect, you are like your dad. But Adeola knows one thing about me. I don't like going to hospitals. And I tell her, normally, I don't know what it's like, but if I go into a hospital and look somebody in the face, I can normally tell if that person is going to leave the hospital alive or not. I can normally tell, you know. So, but in this case, somehow, one way or the other, it made me closer to God. It made me closer in terms of faith. I just had that belief and just had to say, look, keep at it. And in fact, I didn't need to say it because she's strong. She's been through a lot. She's been through a lot. She is strong. She's been through a lot. She has actually been through a lot. And like I said, I thank God for it. I thank God for her life, everything. I really thank God.
Very beautiful. Look at her face. I mean, if you see her, you won't even think that she's been through anything, you know. And her magenta mist and souffle.
I remember. I felt. Don't worry. I remember when I first saw her.
But what did you say?
I remember when I first saw her.
Yes, magenta mist. Well, magenta mist then.
Passion fair magenta mist.
Yes.
Serious.
I used to take the leftovers of those.
So what I'll just want to say is, I don't know whether to say, well, okay, this cancer of a thing. Like I said, once you hear cancer, everybody just thinks like it's a death sentence. But the main thing, the main issue with cancer is actually early detection. In anybody, it's early detection.
Yeah.
And and whether you are religious or not, it can come into anybody. I don't know. It's a natural thing. I don't know why it's so. I can't. I
Yeah.
cannot question God on that.
We had a
But
doctor. We had a breast cancer surgeon here last Sunday, and she told us that the cancer cells are in everybody. Those cells live in everybody. She mentioned that last week Sunday when I interviewed her, Dr. Jovita Oruwari. All right, Okibiodu, thank you very much for coming on. I thought you were camera shy.
no, this one I'll do. I'm normally used to being behind the camera, but this one, of course, I have to.
Very much.
And I thank everybody. I thank everybody that has clocked in.
Yes, thank you.
And all the well wishers.
Yes. We have over 100 people watching. I'll tell you the figures when.
No. You know, my wife, my wife, Adeola is how do I put it? Adeola is an extrovert, but a very, very good, friendly, nice extrovert.
And she's one person that has kept all her friends from when she was a child.
Yes.
All her friends, you know.
You're right. That's how we say for her.
They've all become like family to all of us. I mean, her friends are so wonderful. They've all become like sisters to us, you know, and they've known us right from when we were children. You know, my mom knew all of them, you know. So we thank God for all of them. And my sister, so you want to say your thank yous?
Yes. If I can start saying thank you now, I might not even finish. First of all, I thank God. He's shown me inordinate grace. He's been with me. The nights when I've cried out, God help me, and he has helped me. Because when I got that diagnosis, I said, what am I going to do? And he just calmly told me in the middle of the night, don't worry, Adeola, I've got you in my palm. So from there I just went on. Everybody has been so kind. I've been shown inordinate amounts of kindness and love. Is it the person that a lovely couple that when they heard, they came all the way, they were going to America, they made sure they routed their journey through the UK to see me, and on their way back from America, they came to see me. Is it the friend that the very young friend that when she heard she was going back to Nigeria from America, she made her husband buy her a ticket to come to the UK. She spent 1 week with me. She was cooking for me, following me for all my appointments, saying, sister, I'm asking the doctor all the questions. Till today, my oncologist still asks, where is that your cousin from Chicago? I said, she's back in America. You know, there was another friend that came from America that came to come and visit me. Or is it the lovely friend, I must mention her name, Auntie Angela, that let me stay in her flat free of charge for almost 2 years. And even sometimes when she comes, she'll cook for me, she'll make breakfast, she'll make sure I'm okay. It's my cousins, the Akim Bulumos, Yemi, Yejide. In fact, is it Toyin Taiwo? Is it Bola Magbagbiola? Is it Lola Adewusi? Is it, in fact, I can't, is it Bon Odukale, Bon Kondi? Everybody, people that would come, they'll bring food for me. The height of COVID, they would cook. They would leave the food at the door, call me downstairs when I get downstairs. They would wave to me from the car, make sure I get upstairs, tell me to go into the balcony, make sure I'm okay before they drive off. Or is it people that were giving me money? There's some people that people that I didn't even expect. I don't want to start mentioning names because I don't want to embarrass anybody. People have, in fact, I'm just so overwhelmed. I've been overwhelmed with God's love and God's support. I'm just so thankful to all my friends, all my family. Is it Toro that would come and see me sometimes? And because that was at the height of COVID. And Toro doesn't really like driving that much, but she would drive herself down to Collindale. I would go downstairs, and it was so funny. Now we can laugh about it, but it was not funny then. Because of COVID, she would sit inside her car with her face mask. I would stand for like two car lengths, and we'd be shouting, talking to each other. You know, is it the friend that when she was fed up of talking to me on the phone, she drove down and said, oh yeah, get into the car, but taking that we're going to a house. So we sat in the garden all day Or is it her husband that will sometimes say, Adeola, Omashori Reo, Omashori Reo? He will put his hand on my head and start praying for me. Koko Onishie, Omashori Reo. And sometimes I will just start crying because I will be so overwhelmed. You know, where can I start? I just give God all the glory. Is it my aunties? There's one particular auntie that said, Diola, kilo nshembe ye, igba oloma wale. When I now had to tell her, she started shouting, Nkoko Onishie, you're a good girl. Nkoko Onishie. She started shouting. I said, auntie, this is why I did not want to tell you, but because push has come to shove, I've had to tell you, you know. I am just overwhelmed. I know that the cancer will not come back.
Amen.
But you know, sometimes,
in Jesus' name.
you know, sometimes,
In Jesus'
and
name.
like it is. I don't have two heads. The people have died of this cancer. Some people have died of it, and they've taken all the precautions. They've done everything. They've done all the treatments and all that. I don't have two heads, and but you know, in it all, we still have to trust God. I still trust God. I trust God, and I believe that it is well. It is well. It's just good for us to stay positive. There are times when I have side effects that I know that are not going away. I have neuropathy. My feet are always tingling. My fingers are always tingling. I've got to deal with the lymphedema. My hair has refused to grow back. I don't have any eyebrows. I don't have any eyelashes. But you know, all that can be. You can use all the things to. You know, I can put lots of powder, make my face look okay, make sure I dress well.
Souffle.
You know, souffle and all the things
Pancake.
that you put on, pancake, atike, and all that. We just thank God. Just thank God. Thank God. Yeah.
All right. So Ade, thank you for coming to share your story. Honestly, you're a very brave, bold person, very resilient.
And most people don't like to talk about because some people, when they want to talk about, you have breast cancer, they say, who did you taloshe? Or they pass on nasty comments, or you just find people will just move away from you that stigma, maybe it's catching. But I've just decided to speak out because just to encourage another person, just to make somebody feel good. And if anybody wants to speak with me about anything, you could always call me. You know, just encourage that person because it could be anybody. It could be anybody. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
And I thank everybody. I thank everybody because in the dark, because there were times when in the middle of the night, I'll be the only one in that flat and there was nobody with me. And I bought myself a little radio and I would just tune into Premier Christian Radio, and that would just keep me going for days upon days upon days, you know, just to keep me busy. I taught myself how to sew to encourage me. I bought myself a sewing machine, make stuff, do my crochet baby blankets, teddy bears, and all that. I learned how to paint. I guess I just have that talent. I watched all the TV shows I wanted to watch. I read all my books, all my novels. I read my Bible. I got into fellowship. In fact, there was one particular day I went to my friend told me to go to a program called Bamishe in Plumstead. And I used to go all the way there to Plumstead every fortnight. And there was this particular Saturday, I woke up early in the morning. I left the house at 6:30. I got onto the train and I didn't know that Biodun was looking for me. He was looking for me. He had called everywhere. And because I was underground, I didn't know he was calling me. I spoke with my friend a few minutes before I got onto the train, but he didn't call her. So he had called everybody. He had called Toro. Let's go and break down the door. Where is Ade? Maybe she has died inside there. What is wrong? What is going on? So I didn't even know. I finished the program. I finished the prayer around 11 o'clock. And I went and my friend called me, said, let's go out for lunch. And I put on my phone, missed calls. Sheikh had called me, Toro had called me, Biodun had called me. everybody, I'm here, I'm fine. So, once he fell off, you know. Anyway, I just give God all the glory. I thank him. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to everybody. All I can just say is thank you. Thank you.
Mommy,
Thank
please
you.
be picking up your phone when we call, because it's scary when you don't.
She's very bad. She's very bad with picking up her. She's very bad at picking up her calls.
It's
Yeah. Yes.
And when we finally get to her,
Adeola show ti gbọ́ o.
she will say she didn't see the
So
call.
so
No, I didn't
it's not
see.
just me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And please be breast aware. Always check your breasts. If you see anything, please just go straight to your doctor, and please make sure you go to the right doctors. The oncologist is the person that will prescribe the treatment. The breast surgeon is the one that has to either do the radio, remove the breast or reduce the breast. The plastic surgeon is the one that does the reconstruction. Don't go to quacks that people will be telling you this and that just to make sure that they collect your money. Please.
Especially in Nigeria.
Yes. Yes.
All
And may
right.
God be with us and guide us and protect us all.
Amen, 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 amen. Thank you, Ladu. Thank you, Onkibiodu, for coming on. I'm really, really very, very grateful. And thank you, my
And
big
thank you for
sis.
everybody that joined. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you all for coming. God bless you all. Next week, I have a friend, Ego Obiwade. She's going to come and share her own experience with breast cancer. So please tune in next week. All right. Thank you very much for joining in. God bless you all. Have a lovely week. Thank you, Ade. Thank you, Okibiodu.
Bye.
Thank you, Ladu.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.